All right, so we are back. I apologize for the technical issues here. And let's go ahead. Yeah, we're already on the videos here. So we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just restart this whole video. And again, we're recapping. Apparently, Mary was tricked into sending nude photos of her breasts to a 14-year-old kid. And now she's afraid that she's going to go to jail. No, Mary, you're not going to go to jail. You're not going to go to prison. Nobody cares that you got tricked into sending a photo of your breasts. That kind of shit happens all the time. That is not trafficking in child pornography. They're going to say, just be careful next time about who you send your photos to, but they're going to say that no, you're not in trouble, Mary. Okay?
I'm in full panic mode. I can't fucking think. I can't breathe. I can't function. I need $5 to go and get some weed. Otherwise, I'm just gonna sit here and hurt myself waiting for the police to come and take me away for the rest of my life for being entrapped by a child, for having a child asked me for those photographs. I didn't send them for no reason. I didn't send them trying to be in a relationship with a child. They asked me, they said they were going to pay me for that. For over a year. For over a year, they messaged me wanting these photographs, offering me money. I didn't even want to be in a relationship with them. I didn't want to have anything to do with them. I just needed the money.
Next video is Where Are the Police?
Where are the police? Where are they? I've been waiting all afternoon. I've been scared and crying and throwing up and waiting and waiting and waiting, and they never show up.
Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound that they make.
They never show up. I keep hearing sirens, but then there's never a knock on the door. They never show up.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what
When
you
are they
gonna
going to
do?
show up?
What you gonna do
What
when
is
they come
happening?
for you? Nobody now give
Y'all have
you
already
no
told me. You've
break.
reported me 30
Policeman
times.
give you
30
no
different of you. You
break. Not
reported
even
me
your
for
soldier man
pedophilia.
giving no
So why,
break.
why,
Not
where, where,
even
where,
your Adrasdea
where
give you
are they?
no break,
Why am
boys.
I still
What you
sitting
gonna
here
do?
crying and waiting
What
to
you
be
gonna
arrested
do
for a
when they
crime
come
that
for
I didn't
you?
even really know I was committing? I'm gonna spend the rest of my life in prison as a pedophile.
No, you're not. No, you're not,
But I'm
Mary.
gonna fight to make sure that whoever it was that set me up also spends the rest of their life labeled as a sexual predator.
It's probably that 14-year-old kid who was on the Zoom call with Fly Soldier of the Island Boys and was just roasting the shit out of Fly Soldier.
At 14 years old, you're out harassing homeless women. 14 years old! What 14-year-old is looking at homeless women and offering homeless women money using their wealth
Probably the same 14-year-old who, like I said, was roasting Fly Soldier.
to manipulate homeless women, homeless mentally ill women? For over a year on that site, they messaged me. They knew my situation. They knew I was homeless. They knew I was schizophrenic. They knew all of that. And then they waited and waited until I was desperate. And then they offered me so much money. And I sent them a single picture of my breast because they offered me so much money, and the money never arrived, so I never sent any more pictures.
So basically, you sent a nude picture on a promise of money. Oh my God, Mary. You would suck at OnlyFans. Oh, Jesus.
I didn't receive any in return. I didn't ask for any in return. It was never any kind of a relationship.
You probably just, negotiated your standard fee of $5 so that you could get a gram of weed.
I was a homeless, mentally ill woman that needed money. And a 14-year-old child took advantage of that, and he trapped me, and he's wanting to be in prison for the rest of my life because he entrapped me. And how can that not be considered a sexual predator? Anybody of any age that's going out and seeking out the homeless and offering them money for sexual acts and then threatening to put them in prison for the rest of their life for performing those sexual acts. That's a predator. That's a predator. I was entrapped by a predator, and now I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life, but I swear to you that I will make sure that whoever this is, whether it's a girl or a boy, they will spend the rest of their lives as a sexual predator. I will fight. I will fight to make sure that that 14-year-old is known as a sexual predator for the rest of their life, because that's what they are, going after homeless, mentally ill people and offering them money for things that they're going to put them in jail for.
Mary, are you going to lump Stephen, now Tara Barone, in that, sexual predator category that you want to lump that 14-year-old into?
I had to leave the apartment. I couldn't.
Yeah. Okay. So video 25. It never crossed my mind that a child would do this. So she apparently was so, frustrated just being in that apartment all day that she had to get out of there.
Sit there and cry and wait for the police anymore. They're gonna have to pick me up wherever they find me. I can't handle this. I managed to get up a couple of dollars doing recycling, so I'm walking down to the dispensary, which is about 6 miles away, but that's fine. I need to get out of the room anyway. I just can't handle this. I've been in freak out mode all day. Started last night. I never imagined that a child would do something like this. I never in my life imagined that there would be children online messaging adults who are mentally unwell and homeless and offering them money for photographs that they're going to take to the police to put you in jail for the rest of your life with. Like, it never ever occurred to me that that could happen, ever. It never occurred to me that a child would do that. You always hear people telling people that kids to watch out online because there are adults that are looking for kids. There are adults that are trying to hurt kids, but there are kids that are trying to hurt adults. It's so fucked up. There are kids that are trying to hurt adults. There is a child that manipulated me into sending them a picture, and they're gonna put me in jail.
I don't know what happened there, but it was like, the video just froze while it was just stuck on audio. So I was worried that like something was crashing on my shit, but
My life is over. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life behind bars, but his life is over too. That's what you need to understand. If this person doesn't get labeled a sexual predator for the rest of their life, there is absolutely no justice in America. Because if this was an adult, if there was an adult going around, like walking around downtown, looking for mentally ill homeless women and offering them money to take pictures of them or touch them inappropriately, people would say that is a predator. That's a predator. It's out there looking for sexual gratification from people who are at their lowest, most vulnerable point, from people that are mentally ill, from women that are homeless, offering them money knowing that they're vulnerable, knowing that they're desperate, knowing that they need it. An adult that was out here doing that would be labeled a predator. It is predatory behavior. It is absolutely predatory behavior to go after somebody who is mentally ill and homeless and do what they're doing. But because it's a child that did it, y'all don't want to say that it's a predator because, well, he can't be. He's a child. He would have been the one that was being preyed upon. But no, because I didn't ask for anything. He messaged me for over a year. Messaged me, offered me money, told me what he wanted. Knowing that I was homeless, knowing that I had mental health problems, knowing that I was desperate for help and money, and they did it just so they could put me in prison because they don't like homeless people and they wanted to get back at a homeless person. They wanted to put a homeless person in prison. And they're going to. You know, they won. My life is officially over. They won. But his life is also over. I swear to God, I will fight. I will fight for the rest of my life to make sure that the person that did this is at least labeled a sexual predator, so that for the rest of his life he'll have to go around and tell his neighbors that when he was 14 years old he was being predatory to mentally ill homeless women online. It's fucked up. Okay, let me turn the camera off because it's dark and y'all aren't gonna see shit anyway. Right, so I finally got logged back into my Adrasdea account on Recolor, and I found the full conversation that I had with this person. NetX1 was the name that they were using. Started 29 months ago, so this was 2.5 years ago that this began. I was still homeless at the time. They instigated the conversation completely. They sent the first message, and they said, "Don't let anyone get you upset. I hope everything gets better for you. Nobody knows the struggles about being homeless unless you were homeless before. Ignore the negative comments. Don't pay them any mind or perspective." Now, some people on my YouTube are saying that this is very clearly a child. I should have been aware that this is a child messaging me, but this is not, to me, this does not tell me that they are a child. And you might say, well, what about their profile? There's nothing there. There is nothing to show to me that this person is much, much younger than I am. I replied, I try, but it really does get to me sometimes because online is my only support system. I only recently found a real-life friend, literally less than a month ago. The last 5 years that I've been homeless, this site has been all I've had for emotional and financial support. Okay, so that's okay. Letting the truck pass, I'm sorry. Okay, so, again, this is 2.5 years ago. This is before COVID. This is apparently just after I met my friend in the Navy. This is before he even gave me the truck, because he didn't give me the truck for a couple of months after we met up again. So I have no idea how I was supposed to be able to tell that this kind-hearted person, 14 years old. So they responded, still 29 months ago. This is still 2 years ago. People here support you, and losers you just talk shit about you for being homeless like it's your choice, know nothing about economics and how life works.
Wilbur Stark, $1.09.
Okay, so Chase the Train has tipped $1.09. Thank you for that. Okay, so it's a link about, yeah, Chase, just go ahead and be able to with where you have a wrench on that. So yeah, just go ahead and throw that in the chat there. So anytime you don't have to worry about, donating, to the super chat, if you have links like that. So yeah, just throw it in the chat right there. Yeah, don't worry about that. It's all good. So, but thank you for the $1.09 too. So yes, it's all good, dude. Okay.
Just don't let it get to your head. The people with morals know you're going through a tough time, and fuck the wannabe edgy degenerates. Again, I'm not sensing that this is a child that I'm speaking to. They're talking about people with morals and shit. So then 27 months ago, 2 months after they started this conversation with me, which I had stopped responding to. So 2 months after they asked Sim News for some money, I didn't respond. let's see, 17 months, that would be a year after. 10, yeah, about a year later, they messaged me and said, how fat are your tits? Finally, I responded 16 months ago and said, are you still willing to pay for pics? They said, yes, if you've got fat tits. So, need you to answer quicker. 15 months ago, it took 3 days for you to respond, but you need me to answer quick. No thanks, I already regret offering. Him, I don't use this site that much. It took 50 days, and I'll give you $50 if you do it. My fault for rushing you. So, they're saying that they have money, like a lot of money, which, in my experience, a child would not have. It's my fault for coming at you like that. You still want the money? Here, they're very pushy and arrogant and manipulative, trying to draw me back because I had pulled back on the offer after they became kind of aggressive. And so, send your Cash App or PayPal. Finally, I responded, PayPal must give me an email to send the pics. They asked you Snapchat, and I said no. I said I won't send them anyway with email. They're not worth anything anyway. He said, what's your email then? He said, you've got to show me how fat your tits are and I'll give you $60. Here's my email. And I responded, I sent one pic to them. I'll send more once I get the money. They responded, do you have a fat ass? And I said, I'm not sending anything else without payment. They asked, I'm asking you a question. I said, no. They said, send me a picture of your ass and you'll get the money. I need to see. And I said, and you're obviously not going to pay to find out. And he said, yes, I am going to pay. Request it to my PayPal. And this is where I realized that they were not actually going to pay me for the picture that I took. And I went into complete panic freak-out mode, which is always fun, merry time. And I responded, it's fucked up to use a homeless person, but that's why I only sent one pic. I knew you were full of shit. The fact that I'm hungry enough to actually attempt this is fucked up. This day I was needing food. That's why I was giving him the pictures. He said, why would I scam you? I said, I'm not sending you a request. I gave you my PayPal. PayPal me / Adrasdea. There's no need for me to try to find you and possibly request from someone else. Now, what I meant by that was, if he had given me a fake email, like, if I'm just sending a request to somebody, I don't know who I'm asking them, who I'm really asking the money from. They could have just sent me some stranger's PayPal and was like, here, request money from this person. And I don't feel comfortable doing that. If you're going to send me money, you need to send it to me. I'm not going to request it unless I know that it is your account that I'm requesting it from. I don't do that because I don't feel comfortable doing that, because I don't want to be taking money from people who don't even, or asking money from people who don't even know what's going on. If this person has, been online harassing people, who knows what they're doing? Who knows? That was a big ass rat. I'm sorry. Okay, he says, I'm not using you. I told you I'm going to send you money. And I said, why scam a homeless woman of her dignity? Because human beings are garbage. And he said, why would I scam you? I just want to see your ass. It doesn't matter if you're wearing clothes or not. And I said, you're not going to send anything. The next pic I said will be of me bleeding. I deserve to bleed for being stupid enough to think I'd get a single dollar from this.
Mary, you're only a couple of hundred viewers away from getting monetized on your channel and getting YouTube super chats. And the moment that YouTube sees this video that you've posted, there goes your monetization. Okay? There goes your super chats.
And they said, yes, I would have. I would have blocked you after you sent the first pic. I'll send the money. You're bugging and taking shit too seriously. I said, no, because you want more free pics. Pay for the first pic. and then I just kept repeating my PayPal. And that is the end of the chat. After I put up my PayPal this many times, telling him to pay for the picture he received, I understood that it was a scam, and I reported it to the mods, and I made a thread letting other people on the forum be aware that there was a person scamming naked photos from people.
More like they would have banned you for giving out naked photos on what is essentially a kids app, Mary.
And I made them aware of that because I was aware that there were some children on the site, and I didn't want a child to be scammed of naked photos.
By their own terms and conditions, Mary, Recolor should have banned you from the use of their app.
I didn't realize that it was a child that was scamming me. So they got the one photo, and that's the one that they're now saying they're going to put me in jail for sending. It's just a photo of my breasts. They actually looked nicer back then because I've lost weight now. Regardless, when I told y'all that this person had been stalking me and that they instigated the conversation, they did not portray themselves to be a manipulator or a child, which apparently they were both. I was not lying when I told y'all that I felt like they manipulated me into getting that picture so that they could use it against me to put me in jail because they didn't want. I feel like this is somebody who just doesn't like homeless people, and he realized that if he could entrap me into a child porn thing, then he could put me in prison, and that would be a homeless person off of the street. But it would then be a homeless person in prison, which is still your taxes are still paying for it. So I don't know why. I guess it's better because you don't have to see them if they're in prison, and you believe that they're being treated awfully because that's what you believe we deserve to be treated if we're not working. This was a setup. This was a setup for almost 3 years. They were preparing for this. Like, this is, you can't tell me that this was not set up. You can't. They set me up. They set me up, and now they're going to put me in prison for it. But these messages would prove that I'm not the one that was the manipulator in this situation. I'm not the one that sent out the first message. I'm not the one that pressed for more. I'm not the one. They are. They're the ones that were using people, homeless people. I was homeless at this time. I don't have any. They didn't really want a picture of me. They just wanted to use it to hurt me later. They knew that one day they would get somebody that would buy the picture, and then they could put me in jail. They knew they had to have known that. Why else would they be doing? Why else? They don't talk like a 14-year-old. I guess now they would be 17. But they don't. I didn't talk like this when I was 14. I'm not everybody, I know, but I never imagined a child would do this to me. Well, I made it back home, but I wasn't able to walk out any of this anxiety and stress that's eating me up right now. I never expected anybody to do this to me. I never expected that a child that would be online asking for things like that, offering money, being predatory to homeless women, to hurt them. fucked up. All I can do is pray that a judge would be able to see my side and how pushy and manipulative this person was in getting the picture, and that I didn't force it upon them. It wasn't something that I wanted. It wasn't something that I instigated. It was completely them. And a lot of people are comparing this to the Chris Hansen thing, and saying, well, it doesn't matter. All of them, they weren't really even talking to children, but they still got in trouble. I didn't think I was talking to a child. On that show, they attempt to make it clear to the predator that it's a child that they're speaking to. This predator made no attempt to let me know that they were a child. And didn't for 3 years. I'm only finding out 2.5 years later that they were 14. I'm not okay, you know. I've been panicking all day. I haven't slept. I haven't ate. I was puking last night, shaking, and my nerves are killing me. My nerves are just eating me alive right now because I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know what I was doing when I did it because I didn't know how old the person was. I wasn't thinking, I was just needing money. Imagine a homeless woman needs money. That's too ludicrous, I guess. Oh, and I can't tell if I'm fat or if my glands are swollen up from the stress. I don't know. I said I was up puking half of the early morning, and I'm stressed. I'm so stressed apparently that my face is expanding. Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes. The night is over, like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone, gone, gone. Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes. When the day is done and the sun goes down and the moonlight shining through, then like a sinner before the gates of...
And I would do anything for love, and I'll be with you till the final act. And I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Oh no, no, I won't do that. I won't do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that.
Of heaven, I'll come crawling on back to you. I think I'm running a fever. My grandmother used to say that she could tell if I had a fever by looking at my eyes. Are there any mothers out there that can tell? I don't have a thermometer. And my body temperature is usually low because I stay malnourished. But the fact that my face feels hot and looks red and has been red all day, I'm anxious. I mean, y'all have been noticing my voice for the past couple of weeks has been softer, and it's because I'm not able to project as much. I'm not able to breathe quite. I have been dealing with this for a little bit, but I kept thinking that it was normal. I might have the Rona. And I'm not quite sure what to do about it because they're saying not to go to the emergency room. And I don't know where the testing sites near me are. I might go out tomorrow and see if I can find one. I am not okay. 2 days now I've been stressed out, panicking. I haven't been sleeping, I haven't been eating, I haven't been functioning. I've just been crying and panicking. And people keep harassing me and attacking me and saying that I'm a pedophile, that I'm a bad person, that I went after a child. I didn't go after a child. A child came after me. And they're saying that that sounds stupid, that I'm a predator and the child was the victim, but the child pressured me. The child offered money. The child knew about my severe mental health and my homelessness, and the child used those things to manipulate and hurt me. I didn't go after a child. I didn't go after him. He went after me. He found me. A pedophile is somebody who goes looking for children because they are sexually attracted to children. That's what y'all are saying I am, but I did not go seeking out a child. I did not go looking for a child. For pictures of a child, to send pictures of it to a child. I did not. I received a message from somebody who I did not know was a child, requesting to buy photographs from me. A homeless, mentally ill woman, desperate for money. That's all I did. All I did was sell a single photograph of my breasts to somebody who I didn't know the age of. Not because I went to them and begged them to buy the picture, but because they came to me and begged me and pushed me and pressured me until I finally gave in.
Gee, where have I heard that before, Mary? That you were basically, pressured into doing something. Where have I heard that before, Mary? Could it be that I've heard that from, the accounts of you nagging the shit out of Kenneth McBride, telling him basically get rid of Roberta, do whatever it takes for 2.5 solid fucking weeks, just basically wearing down that peanut-sized brain of his until he did the thing that you wanted him to do, and then you realized that you couldn't control him anymore?
And sold them the photograph, and now 3 years later, that person has gone to the police and says that they're going to put me in jail. That I'm a pedophile, that I went after him. I have the chat message log to prove what happened. He went after me. It doesn't matter that he was a child and I was an adult. I don't have the mentality of an adult. He knew that, and he chose to push and pressure me. He chose to go to the police about something that he knew he instigated. It's messed up. And that's why I say that if I'm going to go to prison for it, then he's also going to be at least labeled a sexual predator, because it is predatory behavior. It is predatory behavior to manipulate and pressure somebody and then use what they did when you manipulated them to destroy their life or to hurt them. It could even be extortion. I mean, if he's saying, well, I won't go to the police if you do this, you know, that would be extortion. I am not attracted to children. I'm not attracted to anybody. I'm asexual. I don't get off on women or men. I have zero sexual feelings. So the fact that people are now saying, well, you're a pedophile. I needed money. And that child was extremely pushy. They're just going to come and say, well, you can't ever take any accountability for anything. Accountability for sending a photo of my breasts. Accountability for being homeless and mentally unwell and desperate for help. And naive and stupid. I need help. And I know that a lot of you are just laughing at me. You're here to torture. You're here to hurt. Some of you are here because you're genuine human beings. I am sick. I'm not lying about that. Y'all have told me before I was lying when I was sick. I have been sick for a couple of days now. My face is staying red. My glands are butterflying. The stress has got me just crazy. I haven't been eating. I haven't been sleeping. The stress of everything that I'm going through, along with being sick, is tearing me down. And I need some help. I need some support. Specifically, I need to go and get something for my fever. Some Tylenol or Aleve. I like Aleve better than Tylenol because I overdosed on Tylenol when I was 19 and they said that it messed up my liver and I should never take Tylenol again. So personally I like Aleve better, but Aleve is more expensive, so I would settle for Advil. I also really need some weed. And it's not just because, oh, I'm a stoner and I want weed. I need it to be able to eat. A big part of the reason that I have not eaten in the past couple of days, aside from all of the anxiety and panic I've been going through, is because I haven't had any weed. And when I don't have any weed, I basically don't eat at all. Now, alcohol also gives me the munchies, so a bottle of rum would help that too, because I tend to eat a lot after a couple of drinks. But if I have nothing in my system, no alcohol, no weed, no nothing, I'll go days without feeling the need to eat at all. And with me being sick right now, I really need all of the energy that I can get, and I need some support and some help, some financial support and help in receiving those things. If anybody wants to support me, it's PayPal/Adrasdea. We'll put it in I'm sorry. I will put it in the description. I know that there's going to be a lot of hatred. There's going to be a lot of anger that I'm making this video. They're going to say that it's just weed. I just want weed. Y'all are saying whatever you want to say anyway. I'm telling you the truth. And that's all I can do. So here's the thing, you guys like to say one thing and completely deny that it was ever said. Well, nobody calls you a pedophile. Nobody is saying you predatize.
I apologize for the audio quality. Yeah, we have noticed that there is some issues with the buffering. This is one of those times where Mary is doing the format in such a lower quality that it's obviously affected the audio settings as well because she's, running out of space on her phone, I think.
What about this person right here? Alright, nobody is saying it except for the people that are saying it, right? So, y'all like to say that nobody is saying things when it's all that has been said to me for days. So nobody is saying that the police are coming. Nobody is saying I'm a predator. Nobody is saying this and that. Why am I receiving emails that are saying exactly that? 27 people in the 4chan thread called the cops on me. I'm a fucking pedophile. I hope you get raped like the dog you are. I have the pics. I have the kid's docs and the photo of the timestamp on when you sent it to him. Have fun in prison, pedophile.
Right away, it's a proton mail, Mary. Never trust anything on proton mail. It's basically garbage mail, okay? It's the mail that you want to go to when you want to send up mail that just harasses the shit out of people and you don't want to be traced. You just throw away, set up a block for anything that comes from proton mail. I know how to do it. I've done it before on my emails. You're using Google Mail. It is not that hard to set up a block. You know what? I'll even put the links in one of the comments of your videos. How to block a proton mail. Okay?
It's done. I posted it on 4chan. Good luck trying to find me, dipshit. You sent porn to a kid. 47 now have called the cops on your ass. Get ready to die in prison. Die, little piggy, die.
You know what, Mary? I think you're the one sending these emails to yourself through proton mail so that this fits your little narrative, okay? So that you can claim you're being harassed. Well, guess what? No one's going to take your harassment seriously considering all this shit's coming from proton mail.
Oops, that's not what I meant to hit. "20 years will go by in a jiffy." Did not verify the boy's age, no matter what you say, no matter what else form dirtbag life brought up. Not IDing the kid before sending those pics will bury you.
James, wait a minute. You know what? We're going to back this shit up just a few seconds here. Good fucking Lord, James. Look at this. Okay, so James Robert Clark III commented. Somebody's ghost commented. Mulp commented. James, leave Mary alone. I've told you this before. Leave Mary alone.
See, a lot of the comments don't show up on my email, and I have to go to the channel to show them. But my phone is going to freeze up when I try to do that because it's breaking down. But I'm tired of people saying nobody said that after 2 days of that being all that they said. Like,
Again, audio issues. I apologize for that. This is on Mary's video here.
literally, that's all I'm saying. Is I'm a pedophile and a predator, and I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life. Let's see.
It's weird listening to that kind of scratching. It makes me think that there's like a raccoon on the other end of the phone, just kind of clawing away, digging through the trash.
Any of these will have all of the same comments telling me that I'm going to go to prison, that I'm a predator, I'm a pedophile, I'm all of these things. Because this child used me. Intention matters.
Mary, figure out how to use Streamlabs OBS, please. Okay? So that you can do this shit live instead of pre-recorded. Please figure out how to use Streamlabs OBS. You know how to use videos. You know how to make videos. You know how to use YouTube and upload them. Please, Mary, for the love of God, start doing shit on Streamlabs. It's a hell of a lot easier than what you're doing with this pecking away at your phone. Oh God, that noise. See, when you're working a customer service job, and this is where you can't interrupt the customer no matter what. You have to let the customer speak. But then you're trying to speak, and then the customer interrupts what you're trying to say, and you have to fucking restrain yourself because you just want to scream at them. Let me talk. Please let me talk. All right? I get some customers that just, fucking would tell you about how they drove 100 miles just to go to a bathroom. Okay? That's the kind of customers that I have to deal with. Okay? And one thing that really kind of gets me, really irritates the shit out of me, Mary, and I'm talking directly to you, is this raccoon like noise that you're putting into this video. This scratch, 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 scratch. It's driving me fucking bananas, Mary. Hi, Vinny. Hope you had a good birthday. Oh, God, we've got 30 seconds more of this. God damn it.
So all of these people are telling me that I'm going to prison, but nobody is saying it.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God that video's over. That was giving me a headache. Jesus Christ. When you have to take customer service calls and you're also listening to all the noise in the background, when you can hear shit in the background like The Price is Right, and you can hear shit in the background like a screaming kid. And not only that, it's not even the background on the phone, it's the background in what you've got going on. Today, some kid, like 2 doors up and 2 doors over was having such a loud fucking meltdown. Customers were hearing it through the microphone in my headset.
Intent matters. When this goes to court, the judge will actually be allowed to look at that chat log and see for himself that I was not intentionally seeking out a child to sell a photo to. I was not intentionally looking for a child to conversate with. There was no intent on my part to do anything untowards towards a child. I was being manipulated. I was being led to believe that this person was going to pay me for photographs of myself. I was pressured, and even after I changed my mind and said I wasn't going to do it, he kept pushing me. If y'all are going to insist that I am a pedophile and I am a horrible danger to children, You have to be able to prove the intent. You have to be able to prove that I intended to harm a child. I intended to distribute pornography to a child. You cannot prove that I intended to do that because I didn't. It was not my
Okay, so you did not have an intent to distribute pornography to children, but at the same time, you did not have a protection system in place where you would just flat out ask. All you had to do is flat out ask, are you 18 years of age or older? Yes or no? And then, it's like, as soon as I say yes, okay, then you can pay me, okay? And then it's established that you have verified that they are over 18 because they have said that they're over 18. You're taking their word at that. And, if it turns out that they've lied, you've got them in the chat saying that they were over 18 when it turns out that they weren't. You didn't even ask if they were over 18. You just had a reckless disregard. You were determined to just shill your naked photos to whoever would buy them, that it didn't occur to you that you needed to ask how old they were.
intention. It was not my goal. My goal was simply to survive. I was homeless at the time. I needed money. That day specifically, I was hungry. I had no intention of hurting a child. Do I believe that my breast hurt that child? No, I don't. I do not believe that viewing a picture of a naked woman at 14 years old severely damages a child. Now, that doesn't mean that it's okay for women to get naked around them. But if your kid sneaks into your room and finds a Playboy, are you going to be trying to put dad in jail for exposing him? Or are you just going to kind of understand that he's growing up and it's normal to have an interest in the female body? It's not normal to go after grown adults and lie to them about money for photographs of the human body when you could easily see those online, but that's what happened to me. I had no intention of giving anything to children. I had no intention of injuring a child. I had no intention of going after a child. My only intention was to sell a photograph of my breasts for money.
And Jack McCoy on Law and Order would say that that demonstrates reckless disregard. You had reckless disregard for the people that you were selling your photos to because you weren't smart enough to ask them their age.
Which people do literally every day. There's a website dedicated to it. And I would be on OnlyFans if y'all would let me, but when I post to OnlyFans, my video is taken and spread around free so that nobody will subscribe to me. So I can't sell my tits to adults. And that doesn't mean I'm trying to sell them to kids. It's simply saying y'all have blocked my legal revenue to sell to adults. I don't know what else I can say. I'm waiting to be arrested and plead my case. And even though y'all don't think it matters, I know that when it comes to the law, intent matters. And they will be able to see that I had no intention of predatory behavior in that situation.
Oh, thank God. I have been checking like mad to make sure, and I'm going to go back to the Google here really quickly. I have been refreshing like every 5 minutes just to make sure that there are no more new Adrasdea videos. So that was Intent Matters. Please be no more videos. Thank Christ. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, and let's make sure that Jimmy hasn't put any new shit out either. So his last video was trolling, gaslighting, and owning reality. James, I own your reality now, okay? Your video about trolling, gaslighting, and owning reality, you don't own your reality anymore. I own it, okay? I own it. If there's another video on this, I'm gonna kill you. You son of a bitch. Urgh! Is Delta 8 THC healthy? No. Is it potentially dangerous? Oh, God. You know what? We're into JRC3 overtime. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy. Well, how long ago? 7 minutes ago, you cocks. Oh! I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. You're going to trick me into saying it, and I'm not saying it. Okay, is Delta 8 THC? All right, we're exposing the goddamn business here, but you know what? We're going to watch this video because we're going to make sure that we're caught up on all your shit, Jimmy. I'm not letting any of your videos escape me, all right? I promise you that. Whatever you post, whatever video you post, Jimmy, I will review it on my channel. And now we're going to review, is Delta 8 THC legal?
So a lot of people are accusing me.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to go back. I got to put it back to the VLC portrait mode. Ooh. Jimmy. All right.
Of only promoting, well, not promoting, but only explaining the dangers of Delta 8 THC containing products because, you know, the people at ROTC LLC promote Delta 8, you know, products containing Delta 8 THC. And it's not just Delta 8 THC, it's also all these like CBD, cannabinoids, all this stuff. People are not taking into consideration the potential dangers of these things. People should be aware that I've always promoted, since I've started this channel, maybe not since I started it, but from the beginning of this channel, I've promoted the 8 laws of health, the Adventist 8 laws of health, and one of those is to avoid things that are bad for you, like illicit street drugs, alcohol, and marijuana. Okay. People know I also support legalization of drugs. I'm not like some mamby-pamby person that's against drugs or thinks that, you know, if somebody does drugs, they're automatically going to become a werewolf and eat somebody. However, I'm somebody with a lot of personal experience with drugs. I smoked a lot of marijuana from the age of 11 to the age of about 21.
Okay, Jimmy, I smoked marijuana from the age of 21 up until just a few hours ago, okay? So, Jimmy, I don't buy that you've been smoking pot since you were 11, okay? Don't buy that for a minute. That's a fucking lie, all right? 1983, and if 1994, you would have been 11 in 1994, but I don't buy that shit for a moment because Clinton was president back then. Clinton was putting everybody in prison for possession of pot. There's no way that a pot dealer is going to go out of their way to supply you with marijuana. You being the little bitch that you are, the little snitch bitch, you would rat on somebody if it would give you that little bit of an advantage.
Now, during that time, about a 10-year period, I never had a negative reaction to marijuana. Never did. Okay? Probably wasn't too good for my lungs, but I didn't have a negative reaction to you know, the psychedelic effects of the substance, the THC, or any other cannabinoid.
It's called psychoactive, Jimmy. It's not psychedelic, it's psychoactive, okay?
However, I do know people that have. One instance was I was messing around with this girl, and we were smoking pot in a cemetery. Okay, and we were fooling around.
Jesus.
And out of nowhere, she freaked. She had never smoked marijuana before, and I guess I was about 17. I think she was about 17. She was about the same age as me.
Hi,
And
buddy.
we're smoking pot. Now, I had a lot of pot under under my belt at this point. I smoked a lot of pot. And I was fine. She started thinking that all of the bodies in the graves were going to wake up and eat her, and she started having really bad schizophrenic-like effects, severe schizophrenic-like effects, thinking that there were aliens coming down from the sky.
Sounds like your friend smoked some sherm. It sounds like your friend had smoked a marijuana joint that had been dipped in formaldehyde. And that was, made popular in a scene from the TV series 6 Feet Under, where Claire, the youngest sister of the Fisher family, was stealing embalming fluid so that her creepy boyfriend would be able to make joints and then dip them into the formaldehyde and then sell them for like $50 each. You okay, buddy? Okay, Bobcat? It's okay. It's okay. All right, so I got to power through these videos.
And angels and all sorts of stuff. That the ground had opened up and she saw demons coming out of the ground. And this is just from regular homegrown marijuana. I was always very lucky because a friend of mine's father grew his own marijuana back before, before it was legal. And it was just straight marijuana, nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just pot, Uh, and I've had numerous friends. I had another friend that almost went into a coma from smoking marijuana. She had a very bad reaction to it. And these are not this isn't concentrated delta 8 THC, okay?
I'm sorry.
That's what I want to point out. Now, working in mental health, I had a number of clients. The problem with marijuana is once it became socially acceptable, it became okay for people to just use as much of it as they want. And it's not okay. It's not necessarily a safe substance. It's bad for the heart. It can cause cancer. It can cause a lot of problems, okay?
No, that's all bullshit, Jimmy. All of that is bullshit, and it has been medically proven that marijuana does not cause cancer. It does not create the tar in your lungs. It is safe and it is healthy to smoke. Okay? Bullshit, Jimmy. I'm calling bullshit on all of your arguments.
And a lot of these non-regulated gummies and things like this, they contain heavy metals. They contain carcinogens, like the heavy metals, but also other carcinogens.
Lies, Jimmy, lies. They don't contain heavy metals. They don't contain carcinogens.
They're not necessarily safe products. Not to mention, THC is very bad for the heart. It could be very bad for the heart. And
Nope. Again, you're lying, Jimmy. You're making all this shit up because you want to have this advantage over us, which we're never going to let you have. Okay? Jimmy, Delta 8 THC is legal in 39 states. All right? It gets you high, and you can get disposable vape cartridges and gummies and moon rocks and edibles. Well, I mean, not edibles. You get the gummies are the edibles. You get the disposable vape cartridges. You get the moon rocks. Get the flower. You get the dabs, and you get the shit. I'm forgetting one more thing. Disposable vape, gummies, flower, dabs, moon rocks. Okay, yeah. Okay, Jimmy. All right. All of those things that you might be saying about marijuana are bullshit. All right.
of course, it can cause psychotic episodes. Usually these episodes are mild. Getting high is a mild form of psychosis.
Get some soundproofing foam for your room, Jimmy, please. Get some egg crate foam so that you can have like a reasonably soundproofed area.
Okay? Getting crazy off of marijuana, and we've all seen people that have had negative reactions to marijuana. Like I said, I'm lucky. I'm somebody that has I've never been paranoid from pot. The only time I had a bad reaction to marijuana was when I was already high and my brother switched out my pot. I was smoking pot and he switched it out for PCP, and I didn't recognize it at first, and only one hit of that crap, holy God, did I go crazy.
You know what, Jimmy? Never smoke Salvia divinorum 5x. That's the shit you need to be railing against, Jimmy. And I will stand united with you in a fight against Salvia divinorum 5x, okay? That shit fucks with your head something fierce.
But the thing was, the actual marijuana I never had a problem with, okay? However, like I'm saying, I've seen other people experience marijuana-induced psychosis. There was a guy that the principal cause of his heart disease, they think, was marijuana. And it's also, when you work in mental health, a lot of the people that come in for treatment, they never admit to marijuana use, either because they're lying and they don't want people to know that they have substance use disorder, or they just don't consider it anything worth telling the doctor. So, of course, if you're coming in with mild psychotic symptoms, the doctor is going to think you're psychotic. And this is one of the reasons I'm not as hard on psychiatrists as people might like me to be, people that are survivors of psychiatric abuse. I've seen both sides of it, and I've seen doctors try to be diligent about prescribing what they believe is the right substances to their patients, and the patient can, in their eyes, get better. I've never really seen success with psychiatry, but what I can say is I have seen doctors try very diligently to treat patients that have been very uh, forthcoming with necessary information to be treated properly by the physicians, okay, by the psychiatrists or therapists or whoever. It's just, you gotta, if you want honest help, you have to be honest to get the help. And there's a lot of dishonesty about people that seek mental health services. But of course, people that seek mental health services are, of course, mentally ill. So you have to cut them a bit of a break too. Um, so what I'd like to point out, though, is the dangers of Delta 8 THC are not all known because it's not been well researched. These are unregulated products. Both the FDA and CDC have put out warnings about these products, particularly about the heavy metals and other chemicals in there that could be very bad for you. Even the veterinary grade products, and veterinary grade products are held to a higher standard than human grade products. There's been concerns about some of the things that might be in veterinary grade uh, CBD and Delta 8 products and things like that. I'd like to talk about how it's dangerous and deadly because Leah Remini or Remini.
Leah Remini, James. I can't believe that you would mispronounce an easy name like that.
Leah Remini did a thing about Scientology blasting the Purification Rundown, and the Purification Rundown is the backbone of the Narconon program. If you read the articles in PubMed that I put in the description, what you will find out, what's different about Narconon, which is based off the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard, and regular rehabilitation programs, is Narconon actually works. Both the drug education program that takes place in schools, it's proven that children that partake in that, unlike DARE, which is the non-science, but Narconon drug education in schools reduces use of drugs by children, and the sauna program, the purification rundown, actually is effective at getting the drugs out of the system. And The Way to Happiness, which is the book that's used, which is L. Ron Hubbard's teachings, The Way to Happiness, it actually does teach the people the life skills they need to not mess up again, which is completely different. Worked in mental health. The main difference is that one works and one doesn't. The mental health industry has been a terrible failure with helping people with disease, with mental health issues, and it's been very terrible at helping people with substance use disorder. It just does not work, and this is one of the reasons where people wonder why I'm not against Scientology. I'm not a Scientologist. Okay, I've never gone to a Dianetics reading. I never would. It's not my thing. Okay, but the way I always looked at it is, I know so many people that have survived psychiatric abuse and abuse by mental health practitioners and abuse in inpatient facilities and outpatient facilities, etc., and have not gotten any better. And there are things like Dianetics, the whole process of going clear and all this. I've never done this. I don't know anybody that has done it. But what I can say is I guarantee you, well, I can say this. I don't think anyone is getting harmed by Dianetics. The reverse is true with psychiatric abuse, with the abuse that takes place in the mental health industry. Okay, that the reverse is true. So nobody is really getting hurt by Dianetics or Scientology, despite what people say. There's never been any real proof that this has been going on.
Oh, good. That means I don't have to forward this video to David Miscavige.
And, you know, that's the thing. And the thing is, some people will point out how there's been like a death or two at Narconon rehabs. Anybody that's worked in mental health or worked with drug addicts and has had to handle things at mental hospitals or drug rehabilitation centers and has you know, visited their clients or what have you, there's deaths that happen all the frickin' time in the mainstream rehabs, in the mainstream mental hospitals, etc. So my point is, what you would probably rehabs in these hospitals, etc. So I mean, it's really interesting to me how people view this. But I mean, ultimately, what people need to understand about these Delta 8 products, these things are poisonous. If the thing that I don't like is when people, I'm all for legalizing everything. Tax it, regulate it, so that you know that it's not going to kill you. Okay, that you know, so you know that if you're buying a substance, that substance doesn't have other substances in there that are bad for you. Okay? I'm totally cool with that. I'm totally cool with legalizing everything, and I mean everything. Heroin, marijuana, cocaine.
No, you're not, Jimmy. No, you're not. You're really not. Because if you are this anti Delta 8 THC, you're anti every kind of fun. Okay?
uh, ephedrine, methamphetamine, uh, uh, make things available to everybody, prescription drugs, make them available to everybody that's 21 years or over or so. And, you know, I don't see a problem with that. I really don't, as long as they're being regulated properly and taxed. These products are not being regulated properly. There's no like on these programs, these ROTC LLC programs. You don't know where these products are going to. You don't know if they're going overseas where they're illegal. You don't know if they're going to states where they're illegal. You don't know. They're encouraging everybody to do these things, including children that might be watching the program. And there have been so many overdoses on THC of children. I've seen people completely go bonkers on weed. Just
No.
weed.
Nope.
But it's not just weed. It's dangerous. Marijuana is a dangerous substance. Okay? And people need to know that. And then that's
half a moment ago, you were suggesting that you were cool with all drugs being legalized, and now marijuana is a dangerous substance that must be made illegal at all cost.
marijuana. That's not even talking about these highly concentrated THC products.
You mean dabs, Jimmy? Do you mean dabs?
Okay, that are probably thousands of times more potent than true marijuana. Okay, and you're eating it, so it's processed through the system differently. Okay, or you're vaping it. What about the gentleman that had the collapsed lung from the improper vape juice that was relatively recent? I mean, people need to be more careful about the stuff they put in their bodies, quite frankly. That's all for this video. Do follow the links in the description. I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm telling the truth.
No, you're
so
not.
Do get the links in the description. Beware of the danger of marijuana-induced psychosis, which comes from THC. So Delta 8 THC.
He's going to rant on for another 45 seconds about this shit.
Is a concentrated form of THC. So beware. And also beware of the heavy metals present in the gummies and present in the vape products.
No, there are no heavy metals present in the gummies or the vape products, Jimmy. And once CBDX hears this in your videos, their lawyers are going to issue you a cease and desist, and they are going to make YouTube take this video down.
And things of this nature. These are not safe products. Getting high is not safe. Nobody should be getting high. Okay? But like I said, if you legalize it, tax it, and regulate it, keeping it illegal isn't stopping people from getting high. But extensive drug education probably would. And people like me on the internet coming out and saying, don't do drugs, might actually help. If a lot of people stood firm against drug use, it might help. That's all for this video.
Oh, thank God. All right, so yeah, so I've heard Nightwave is not going tonight. Let me confirm that. Looks like Mersh is on. Just a moment. Let me check something here because I don't like overlapping on Mersh. Okay, so okay, because if he's not on, I'll keep going because I want to keep going at least until Dr. Till is on. Virgie G's on. Tell you what, let me. Yeah.
I'm going to turn the volume off.
This isn't the weirdest thing I've seen today.
We need scorched earth. We need scorched earth music. We need scorched earth music.
Hold on, I got you. Yeah, we'll do some metal.
Okay, good. We're caught up with you. You know what? I do want to watch one more video. And I've been saving this for a while. And I kind of want to get this out of the way here so that way we can kind of things later on. So desktop, where was that? Yeah, Ash. All right. We're going to look at some Ashley Hatcher, okay?
All right. One of these eyeballs likes to change photos when we look at it. That's called murder. Changing my videos is called murder also. Oh, shit, dude. You don't need to force us to cut Ashley's gut sack out. Ashley has permission. And Ashley knows her rules. Ashley doesn't want to go to Bible Armageddon. Ashley gets to punish people if we have Bible Armageddon with the opium dragon or another dragon.
Interesting. Well, those obviously aren't wedding rings. That's a copper that looks like a charm ring that she's got. Surprised she hasn't sold it for any kind of drug money. That's a steel, looks like a key ring of some kind that, she was able to get to fit on her pinky. Now, Ashley Hatcher, she's definitely got dissociative disorder because every time that she's talking about herself, she talks about herself in the third person. That's classic dissociative disorder. So.
Wow.
And wow, look at all the pick marks on your face. Jesus Christ, look at all those pick marks. You got more holes in you than a golf course, lady.
Michelle Bounds? Someone that looks like Macaulay Culkin. Chansley Woodyard. Eric Todd. Ashley Alexander. Me.
Yeah, it's buffering the shit out of everything again. I apologize for this here. Maybe it's a good point to kind of pause for a little bit and reflect. And Ashley's problem is, it goes along with my saying that men are longer addicts, women are stronger